There are moments in life when betrayal cuts so deep, it makes you question everything you thought you knew about family. For me, that moment hit like a punch to the gut, right in the middle of my brother's fancy birthday dinner, with everyone watching. My name's Jake, I'm 27, and I've always been that guy. You know, the one everyone calls when things go sideways. Need a loan? Call Jake. Car trouble? Jake's your man. Big life decision making you sweat? Asked Jake for advice. Honestly, for years, I didn't mind it. I actually liked being the reliable one, the go-to guy. It felt good to be needed, to genuinely help out my family. But what happened that night? That was the moment everything just broke. It all started when Matt, my older brother, turned 30. Growing up, we were super close, but as we got older, we drifted a bit. Then, about 2 years ago, he married Lisa, and things really shifted. I guess it's just how life goes, right? He had his own life, a wife, and I was still there, ready to support him however I could. I wasn't expecting anything in return. He was my brother, after all. Family. So, when his big 3-0 birthday party came around, I, of course, said yes. A few weeks before, Lisa sent me an invite, and I didn't think much of it. But as the day approached, this weird, uneasy feeling started to creep in. I began to recall subtle things Matt had said, little offhand comments that slowly made me realize just how much he'd taken me for granted. Jake, could you help me out with the party arrangements? Matt had asked, just a week before the dinner. You know how I am with planning these things. I didn't think it was odd. Sure, I said. What do you need? Well, if you could cover the catering deposit, that'd be great. I'll pay you back when I get paid, he replied, casual as if asking for a pen. No problem, I thought. I transferred the money. But that gnawing discomfort just wouldn't quit. It wasn't just the money, you know? It was the way Matt treated me, like I was some kind of resource, a tool to be used for favors. Still, I tried to push it down. It's his birthday, I told myself. Just suck it up and enjoy the night. The day of the party arrived. I put on a nice suit, picked up a really thoughtful gift for Matt, a high-end smartwatch he'd been eyeing for months, and drove to the restaurant. It was gorgeous, all dim lighting, polished wood, chandeliers that made everything sparkle. I got there a bit early, hoping to settle in. But as I walked inside, something immediately felt off. The first thing I noticed was the seating. Elaborate tables, like a wedding reception, each with neat name cards. Multiple long tables, beautifully set, but still empty. My stomach dropped. I looked for my name card. It wasn't there. I checked again, scanning every table, trying to ignore the growing dread in my chest. Nothing. Panic started bubbling up. Maybe it was a mistake? Maybe they just hadn't put it out yet? So, I stood by the bar, just waiting, hoping someone would show up and explain. The room slowly filled. Friends of Matt and Lisa, distant relatives, a few coworkers. Still, no one approached me. Then I saw Lisa. She was near the front, laughing, playing the perfect hostess. But her smile, it didn't reach her eyes. That uneasy feeling in my gut just intensified. I walked up to her, trying to keep my voice calm. Hey, Lisa, is there a mistake with the seating? I asked, trying to sound lighthearted. She turned, her face brightening a little too much. Oh, Jake, you're here. That's great, she said. Yeah, seating's a little tight. We had to make some adjustments. My insides were churning, but I kept smiling. Yeah, but I don't see a place card for me. Her expression flickered just for a second, but I saw it. She hesitated. Well, we were trying to prioritize the close family and the important guests, you know? Her voice turned syrupy sweet. We made some changes at the last minute, but don't worry, I'm sure we'll find a seat for you. I nodded, trying to hold it together. I wasn't going to make a scene. Not yet. But then, as I looked around, my eyes landed on Matt. He was right there at the very front, sitting with Lisa and their friends, laughing, having a great time. All the important guests in their fancy suits and dresses. Completely oblivious to the volcano erupting inside me. A sharp sting in my chest. I was family. His brother. Why wasn't I sitting with them? I turned back to Lisa, the anger now a hot wave. Lisa, what do you mean by important guests? I'm his brother. Shouldn't I be sitting with the family? She blinked, clearly blindsided. Oh, well, she stammered, we had to make some decisions. You know how these things go. We had to have a balance. My hands started to shake. A balance? I repeated, my voice thick with frustration. So, you couldn't find a place for me at the main table, but you've got room for all of Matt's coworkers and their plus ones? Lisa's smile faltered, but she recovered quickly. Jake, please don't take it personally. It's just a seating arrangement. You're still part of the evening. I couldn't take it anymore. This is ridiculous. I snapped, my voice loud now. A few heads turned. I've done everything for you too. I loaned Matt money when he needed it, I co-signed on your mortgage. I've done everything to help you, and this is how you repay me. Lisa's eyes widened. Jake, calm down. It's not that big of a deal. I took a deep, shaky breath, trying to control it. But the words were already out. Yeah, you're right. It's not a big deal. Just like I'm not a big deal, right? That's when Matt finally spoke up, his voice dripping with annoyance. Jake, stop making a scene, he said, his tone icy. You're being dramatic. Just sit down and enjoy the party. Dramatic? That just broke something inside me. I'm being dramatic? I repeated, stepping closer to their table now, fully visible to everyone. You know what's dramatic, Matt? Treating your own brother like an afterthought. Like I'm some charity case you can call whenever you need help, but you can't even make room for me at your own birthday dinner. The room went dead silent. Everyone was watching. Matt and Lisa looked at each other, their faces turning a shade of red I'd never seen. And in that moment, I knew. I wasn't leaving until I said everything I needed to say. The tension was thick, suffocating. Every pair of eyes felt heavy on me. I wasn't just angry anymore. I was profoundly hurt, and there was no going back. Matt leaned back, looking at me like I'd just ruined his night. Lisa shifted, eyes darting between us, clearly uncomfortable. But Matt? He wasn't backing down. He crossed his arms, putting on that air of authority he always did. My hands tightened into fists. Years I'd supported him, helped him, put up with his laziness. And here I was, standing alone, excluded from the very family I always championed. You know what? I said, the words hissing through my gritted teeth. I've done more for you than anyone ever has. I've been the one you've leaned on. And now, for your big birthday, you can't even be bothered to treat me like family? I'm not even close family enough to get a seat at the table? The sarcasm in my voice was biting. I was done being nice. Lisa's face flushed, but Matt spoke again, his voice low and sharp. Jake, you're acting like a child. Just sit down, okay? This is ridiculous. Lisa's face flushed, but Matt spoke again, his voice low and sharp. Jake, you're acting like a child. Just sit down, okay? This is ridiculous. I didn't even blink. I'm not sitting down. Not until I get the respect I deserve. You're treating me like I'm not even part of this family, and I'm done with it. The entire room was silent again. The clinking glasses, the laughter, all gone, replaced by this heavy, suffocating quiet. People whispered, glanced nervously. I saw some trying to avoid eye contact, obviously uncomfortable. I didn't care. This wasn't for them. This was for me. Matt's face twisted in frustration. Look, I get it, okay? You're upset. But you're making a spectacle of yourself. You're embarrassing me. My pulse quickened. I took a deep breath. It would have been so easy to just turn around, say something snarky, and storm out. But I wasn't giving him that satisfaction. I wasn't going to let him dismiss me, Not this time. I wanted him to understand exactly what he had done. No, Matt, I said slowly, letting each word hang in the air. You're embarrassing yourself. You've spent your whole life using me. I've been there for you through everything, and all I get is being shoved in the back of the room like an afterthought. I looked at him, really looked at him, my brother, the person I thought I'd always stand by no matter what. But as the words spilled out, a realization hit me. I didn't want to be this person anymore. The one who let people walk all over him. I've been your safety net for years, Matt. But you know what? I'm done. Lisa's mouth opened, about to say something, but I cut her off. Not this time. You're selfish, Matt, I continued, my voice now cutting through the tension like a knife. And that's why I'm not going to sit here and pretend this is okay. You don't respect me, and clearly you don't care. So, you can forget about me continuing to help you when you need it. You don't get that from me anymore. His face went white, but it wasn't the reaction I expected. It was pure anger that flashed in his eyes. You're threatening me now? He demanded, his voice rising. I'm not threatening you, I shot back. I'm setting a boundary, and I'm done letting you walk all over me. There was a long pause, a heavy silence filled with all the unspoken words between us. Everything had come to a head. For a second, I thought maybe I'd gone too far. Maybe I'd made a huge mistake. But looking around at the stunned guests, I realized I didn't care what they thought. I didn't care about Matt's embarrassment. All that mattered now was me. Matt finally broke the silence. You're making a huge mistake, he said, his voice low, almost dangerous. I'm your brother. You think I need you? I didn't say anything. I just stared him dead in the eye. He was trying to manipulate me, and it was pathetic. He'd always leaned on me, always knew I'd be there. And now that I was finally standing up for myself, he couldn't handle it. Lisa was pale, a mix of shock and discomfort. Matt, she said quietly, maybe you should just calm down and... No, Lisa, let him speak, I cut her off. Because I'm done. No more favors. No more loans. No more doing your dirty work. You two want to treat me like I'm invisible? Fine. I'll just start acting like it. I could see it in Matt's eyes now, the fear. The chilling realization that he had pushed me too far. The man who had always relied on me for everything was finally seeing the consequences of taking me for granted. And honestly, it felt good. Like a massive weight had been lifted. But the night wasn't over. The real turning point was just around the corner. As the silence stretched on, I could feel the weight of the room pressing in. Everyone was waiting for someone to say something, but I wasn't going to give them the satisfaction of seeing me back down. Not now. I took a deep breath, glanced one last time at the faces of people who'd been so quick to judge. And then my eyes landed on the small box I'd so carefully wrapped that afternoon. It was nestled in my bag, and I'd been holding on to it all evening, like it was some kind of tether to a family that had never really treated me as part of it. But now, it felt more like a burden. I walked over to Matt's table. He was still sitting there, arms crossed, face a twisted mess of anger and confusion. He tried to avoid eye contact, but I wouldn't let him off the hook. I reached into my bag, pulling out that neatly wrapped gift. The smart was something I knew he'd been eyeing for months, that I'd saved up for, wanting to show him I cared despite everything. But now, after all of this, that gift felt like a cruel joke. I held it up for him to see. His eyes widened. He hadn't expected this. He probably thought I'd just storm off in a fit of rage. But I wasn't giving him that easy exit. Not anymore. I wasn't just leaving quietly. Here, I said, my voice steady, but with an undeniable edge. This is for you. I thought you'd appreciate it, considering how much you've been talking about it. Matt's eyebrows furrowed as he glanced at the box, then back at me. For a second, I thought he'd reach for it. Instead, he just blinked, confused. Jake, what's this? He asked, his voice tinged with uncertainty. I held the box just out of his reach. It's the smartwatch you've been wanting, remember? The one you've been talking about for weeks. The one I thought would be a good way to show you that I care. I watched the shift in his expression. Confusion turned into realization, then into something else entirely. Fear. A genuine fear I'd never seen in him before. Maybe it was the first time in our lives he wasn't sure he could get away with pushing me around. You're not leaving with it, are you? Matt asked, his voice trembling slightly. I shook my head slowly, feeling a cruel satisfaction bubble up inside me. Oh, I am. In fact, I'm taking it with me. I tapped the box lightly. This was for a brother I thought I could count on. For someone who valued our relationship. But now I'm taking it back because I realize I've been an idiot to believe that this gift meant anything to you. I've been an idiot to believe you valued me. There was a heavy pause. I could see the shock and frustration on his face, but honestly, I didn't care. I stepped back, clutching the box to my chest. Every eye in the room followed me. The quiet had turned to murmurs. I wasn't just leaving with the gift, I was making a statement. I wasn't going to let Matt think he could treat me like I was disposable. I turned on my heel and walked toward the door, my heart pounding. Behind me, I heard Matt's voice rise, desperate, but still tinged with anger. Jake, don't do this. I didn't stop. As I passed the front hall, I heard him call my name again. But it was too late. The years of resentment, of taking care of him, of carrying him, it all came crashing down in that moment. And I wasn't going to let him get away with it anymore. I stepped outside into the cool night air, clutching the small box like it was a shield. The gift, once a symbol of my loyalty, now felt like the weight of everything I'd been carrying for too long. I was done. Done trying to prove myself. Done being the one to always come to the rescue. Done letting him treat me like I didn't matter. But as I stood there, the cool breeze on my face, a strange sense of calm washed over me. A clarity I hadn't felt in ages. Maybe I had lost a brother tonight, but I was gaining something so much more valuable, my peace. And it felt good. It's been a few weeks since that party, and I still haven't heard from Matt. Not that I'm surprised, to be honest. He hasn't even bothered to apologize, or really reach out at all. At first, I felt a pang of guilt. I questioned myself, wondering if I went too far, if taking the gift back was too harsh. But then I remembered everything that led up to that night. The constant feeling of being taken for granted, the way he always expected me to be there but never returned the favor. And how, when it really came down to it, I wasn't even considered important enough to sit at the main table at my own brother's birthday. I haven't really had a chance to sit down and process everything properly until recently. It's funny, how you can carry all this emotional weight for years, holding on to it because you think family should come first, and then one day, it just clicks. That's what happened to me that night. That was the moment I realized that maybe family doesn't always get to dictate how things should be. I get to decide what my relationships look like, too. Matt hasn't reached out, but neither has anyone else in the family. It's like they've all sided with him. There's this unspoken understanding that I was in the wrong. I see them posting on social media, all the pictures from the dinner, and I just scroll past. I've learned the hard way that family can be toxic, just like anyone else. And just because we're related doesn't mean I owe anyone my time or loyalty when they don't treat me with respect. I don't know if Matt is even aware of how much he messed up. Part of me wants him to come to me and apologize. But another part of me knows that if he hasn't figured it out by now, then maybe it's not even worth it. Maybe I've spent so many years trying to be the bigger person that I forgot to value myself in the process. Since then, I've actually been doing better. I've had more time for myself, for the things that matter to me. I've been reconnecting with friends I'd lost touch with, focusing on my personal goals. It's like this immense weight has been lifted. Sure, it's tough not having the relationship with my brother that I always thought I would, but at the same time, I feel more free, more me. And you know what? That smartwatch I took back? I ended up keeping it. It's mine now. And every time I look at it, I feel this small sense of pride. Not because it's expensive or anything, but because it's a reminder that I finally took a stand for myself. And in a strange way, it's kind of my symbol of reclaiming my life. So, here I am now, still thinking about whether I did the right thing. Was I too harsh? Or did I finally draw a line in the sand that absolutely needed to be drawn? Honestly, I don't know for sure. But I'm really curious to hear what you all think. Have any of you been in a situation like this, where you've had to cut ties with family members who didn't treat you right? How did it go for you? Did you regret it, or did it end up being the best thing for you in the long run? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments.